Hello, my darlings. The year is 2022. I have had a restful break where, honestly, I was a complete degenerate. I was staying up till 6 in the morning playing Dota and reading books. Oh, I'd sleep till 4 every day. I didn't see the sun for a bit. It was really, really needed. Now that we're back, what are we going to be doing? We're going to be looking at the new Alchemy format, one that I haven't really played much of. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, Alchemy is the same as Standard with two notable differences. First, there is the patching and rebalancing of cards in Alchemy. Druid class, for some of you who are unfamiliar, that level 3 used to cost 4 and a green, now it costs 2 and a green, because it was patched. Alchemy is a digital-only format, so Alchemy permits those standard cards that were too strong or too weak to finally get adjusted properly. Feels good. In addition, there are some digital-only, Alchemy-only cards that do digital-only mechanics, such as this Fearsome Whelp at the beginning of your end step. Each dragon card in your hand perpetually costs 1 less. Perpetually means even if that card is discarded and goes to my graveyard, it costs 1 less while in the graveyard. So, this format, I don't really know what the intention behind it is, but it feels like trying to steer online play towards Alchemy and more digital-only stuff, trying to make its own digital-only presence. Who knows? I don't know. I haven't played much of it. I've been busy grinding Age of Empires 4. So we're going to be coming back with this beautiful Boros Dragons deck that kind of is a little self-explanatory. We have cards like Fearsome Whelp to reduce costs of things, Orb of Dragonkind to add 2 mana, another way alternately to ramp out some dragon cards. And then we have some of the powerful high-end dragons like A-Goldspan Dragon that has been patched. No longer does it produce a treasure when targeted, it only produces a treasure when attacking. Also an adult gold dragon, another just flying hasty boy. But we also have another one of these unique to Alchemy cards, Town-razer Tyrant, a 4/4 flyer. When it enters the battlefield, target land you don't control loses all abilities except mana, and says at the beginning of your upkeep, this permanent deals 2 damage to you unless you sacrifice it. It's sick. Very, very good card. Just deals tons of burn damage and causes unramping of the opponent. And of course, a Velomachus Lorehold for good measure. We also have some of the strong defensive cards, Dragon's Fire, to be able to deal oodles of damage. But also Valorous Stance, destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. This is increasingly becoming what feels like a ultra-strong meta card for white. One of the more recent cards with Crimson Vow. So we're going to play some best of ones. Let's go to play. Let's go to Alchemy. Let's go to best of 3, best of 1, best of 3, best of 1. All right, cool. We're going to play some Boros Dragons best of 1. Because first of all, I'm rusty. I need to make sure that my hotkey setups still work, that my fingers aren't misclicking too much. Oh, let's see. It enters tapped unless you reveal a dragon, and I get to choose a color. What do I think about this? I think that this is probably good enough. Probably good enough. I have 2 Divine Purges and a removal spell. When I was younger, I had this real dumbass attitude of like, it's all about the sophisticated, high-level, complex, interesting, deep reach, the deep, rich things that can happen in the gameplay. That's how I thought. But Dota, I will answer this in parts. Zephyr, the first reason I find Dota compelling is it is an RPG in a bottle. I will decline to reveal because I'm not going to do it. It's an RPG in a bottle. You know what's fun? Having no abilities and then having 1, and then 2, and then 3, and then growing the power of those ones, and getting gold and buying items that let you do more things that have interactions with each other. Ugh. It's the same reason why I enjoy roguelikes. It's fun to start weak, and then get a little stronger, and then a little bigger, and then a little more awesome. It's an RPG in a bottle. It's a 1 hour, have the RPG experience. That's fun. That sort of growth is fun. You know what's one of the reasons why I like Age of Empires 4? Same thing. You have a small base that becomes a less small base, that becomes a medium-sized base, that becomes a bigger base, that becomes a big base, that becomes a huge base. It's just a game of civilization in a bottle, right? It's a city building in a bottle. It's just this... It's the first reason I like Dota. And Prozac W is like, Day 9, this point, it's... My god, you're so interesting, Day 9. Can you please keep going? Oh my god, an opponent that just doesn't do anything and passes the turn? We take those. So... Second reason why I find Dota very compelling. Tell me if this doesn't speak to you, okay? Because Dota, on one hand, is a competitive game. It's a hard game. It demands focus. It requires a lot of attention. You can be out of position for 1 second and lose the game. You can be out of position for 1 second and cause your opponent to make a mistake that lets you win the game. It's very intense. What the fuck is happening in this game? I find games that demand a lot of second-to-second, minute-to-minute focus relaxing. Because if I pay attention, you know, I'm going to go ahead and call this as red. Technically, we would normally want double white for the Divine Purge, but my opponent has played no land. I'm an educator, first and foremost. For any of you that are wondering what the strategy of playing which side of the pathway against an opponent that is AFK, I have you covered. Be a better gamer. Look, it's literally right there. The slogan is right there. It's kind of hard to see because typically that's where my big, broad shoulders cover, but, you know, it's still there. It's still there, hiding behind this massive physique. I find it very relaxing, this minute-to-minute, second-to-second focus, especially because there's a difference between I need focus and the stakes are high, with I need second-to-second focus, but the stakes are low and the reward is high. What am I talking about? Last hitting. If I just try to look and then, okay, I hit that creep, cool, money! Okay, next creep, get this one, money! Okay, let me hit this next one, money! Okay, I'm hitting the tower. Oh, it looks like people are coming. Let's hightail it out of here. Maybe I leave a little early, but it's not that hard. It's not that hard to do. I love that feeling of being absorbed in something because there's a lot of stressful shit in the news. There's a lot of stressful shit that will be happening in one's personal life at any point in time. There's various tasks like, my God, I gotta reach out to my tax guy and get my taxes taken care of. Oh my goodness, have we fixed the curtains? No, we haven't. We gotta get that shit drilled into the wall. All that sort of stuff. And when I have something that's second to second, minute to minute engaging, I find it relaxing because it consumes enough of my brain that everything else melts away. It's another thing that I like about Dota. You know, it's a third thing I like about Dota. It is unrepentant in its dramatic abilities. Magic and Dota are kind of the only two games that I can think of right now that actually do this, where they're unrestrained with their ability to design. Here's the Storm I would say this to. Like, in the last few years, I've done a lot of playing of older RTS games, and there's a lot of just very restrained designs. Like, here is a unit that is a well-rounded unit. Now here is a spellcaster that can deal damage a little bit once. Or here is a stun that deals a tiny amount of stun time, because we can't have it be too much. I mean, I've seen abilities like this designed forever and ever and ever and ever in multiplayer games. Because the thing is that it's hard to balance huge dramatic abilities. And if you've ever worked with playtesters, or if you've ever talked to someone who's working on a game or a project or something like this, there is a real pressure from playtesters to nerf. That's too strong, that's too strong. If there's one thing that's too strong, your players will say, nerf that, it's too strong. What your players won't say is, that's too strong. Can we buff everything else to make sure that this thing is actually still strong? This is an is it mill list, or it might be mono blue mill. Its goal is to mill, you know what I mean? Dota has gigantic abilities For instance, Nature's Prophet is a hero who has the ability to teleport to any location on the map. And get this, it's not even an ultimate ability. It's a basic ability. You just pick a place, okay, you're there. Has a cooldown. Cooldown isn't that long, it's like 20 seconds. So I can look at the top 7, but I don't want to do that. I would rather play... I think I'd rather play an A-Goldspan Dragon. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm going to reveal the Goldspan Dragon. I'm going to say white. I'm doing this because I'm highly likely going to be playing a whole bunch of dragons as soon as possible, so I have a limited window to play the Temple of the Dragon Queen untapped, so I'd rather just do that as soon as possible. Alchoba says, also depends on how cutthroat you want the game to be overall. The stronger everything is, the less forgiving the game is. I'm going to challenge that a little bit, because one of the elements of Dota that permits crazy, psychotic, huge abilities is respawn. It's hard to end the game of Dota. It's just literally a hard thing to do to end the game of Dota. You get multiple respawns, so someone does the huge thing and succeeds and owns you. Alright, well. Tis an issue. We're probably going to Shatterskull Smashing the Ruin Crab and maybe a second Ruin Crab should that occur. If you think about something like RTS games, again, I brought this up because we've been playing a lot of RTS games this year. Yeah, and Alchoba says, yeah, my brain's an RTS. But you know, that's a perfect point. It's a perfect point when it comes to RTS-itude. Hello. So this is one of the reasons why Boros Dragons is quite popular. I haven't played a lot of Match, but I've certainly been watching over the break. But these sort of Boros Dragon lists are quite popular, and also mono-red dragons, because if you're up against a control list or a list like this that's trying to skill with the mill, yeah, I do want to do this. You can often outrace them. Now, we might say, Sean, why play the Fearsome Whelp? Your opponent might just sweep, and then you're screwed. At end of turn, I'm probably going to crack the Orb of Dragonkind to see a dragon and put it in the hand. But yeah, like in RTS game, for instance, you don't get respawn. If you lose your Marine army, you don't get it back. And if it did respawn, that would also be quite stupid, because, like, my opponent built a bunch of Banelings. Actually, here's a better example. I built a bunch of Roaches. And my opponent built a bunch of Immortals, which killed my Roaches. And then they respawn, and they keep getting killed by Immortals, right? Like, that's kind of like if your dog poos in the corner and you bring their face over and rub their face in it. Like, what did you do? You're such a bad dog. The dog's like, I know, I'm so sorry. You're so bad, oh God. Yeah, I mean, it doesn't work in an RTS game. However, coming back to your point, Alchobo, if you have abilities that are too strong that can potentially be game-ending, particularly too early in an RTS game, such as the Baneling Bust. The only way to defend the Baneling Bust is with the ever-present Sentry Force Field, being vigilant. These can feel quite bad. These can feel quite bad. And a lot of these powerful abilities, like Whipwing Field. You gonna get my crabs? Like the old, at the start of StarCraft 2, there was a unit called an Overseer that could cast an ability to disable the research or production progress of a building. And there were certain strategies where you could literally end the game. You could, and as an example, if I have an invisible unit and you are making something to see my invisible unit, I can just endlessly corrupt that structure, prevent it from ever producing. And so, you know, there's a very reasonable tendency to say, okay, in this game, we can't have the abilities be too strong, too big, too powerful. I mean, that'll ruin the game. So I'm not saying it's incorrect for designers to be more conservative with some ability designs. Absolutely, that's reasonable, that's fair, that's good. What I am saying, though, is that I love Dota because of how huge those fucking abilities are. And it's helped in part by the fact that you can respawn. Town-razer Tyrant. Welcome to Razor Town. Is this a... It's just target land. It's not target non-basic land. DOTBB. Actually... So, this is going to produce a treasure. So that'll be 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Not enough to make X equals 6. That's a little disappointing. But I think I actually do want to do this. Swing with my Goldspan. And then Shatterskull Smashing for 6. Because if X is 6, then I can hit these 2 Crablars. They'll each take 6 damage. Because if X is 6 or more, it deals twice X instead of 3. So, there you go. Mill away, Dratal. Teach by example is going to be turned into Tasha's Hideous Laughter. Tasha's Hideous Laughter is to exile until we've exiled a total of 20 cost or more. And it's actually very doable for us. So we'll go ahead and play the Town-razer Tyrant first. Joink. Targeting this. Oh yeah, I forgot I'm dealing 4 damage this turn. I'm like going into going super deep into the Matrix. X stats as I rewatched Idra, quitting against Pult and saw Babby Day9 sitting there in shock, and it really hammered home how long you've been around for. Just wanted to say thanks for all you've done and continue to do so. Thanks, X stats. That does feel weird to see yourself in an old video. I was watching some video about lawbreakers, actually. And let me tell you, it feels really weird. Because, you know, this is like Cliff Blazinski's like talking about, like, yeah, we're going to be trying to do this, and here's some of the features and how we're trying to differentiate ourselves. And then, like, all of a sudden, it's me. And I'm like, and what about comparisons to Overwatch? And I'm like, oh, get the fuck out of my YouTube. I'm on vacation. I don't want to see this shit. Raga says, hello, Sean gave away my Prime for AGDQ this month. Glad to see you're back and looking dapper as ever. Thanks, Rocco. You did the right thing. Game's done quick, and all the fundraising they do is wonderful content for a good cause. Wonderful content for a good cause. Zevin says, also I feel like humans like, in quotes, overpowered things, even though they complain sometimes. I mean, that's why so many people play through Rage on shooters and whatnot. Yeah, I mean, we're playing Magic the Gathering. How many people have complained about Teferi? Hero of Dominaria. Oh my god, this hand is hot gas. I'm going to say yes. And... am I going first? God, I wish I knew how to read. You know what? I'm going to put the Dragonfire down. I'm a proactive person. Oh, I should have kept it. I shouldn't. Oh my gosh. So it looks like we are going to be up against... good old Selesnya. Oh no, it's 3-color. It's going to be Bant Party. Archpriest of Iona. When you have a party, get flying and get big. This is a rogue that's also very good for acceleration. Yeah, Zephyr, I think that you're right. Like, in this game, there are things like when Mono Red has been popular. This is a strategy that's strong. When Teferi, Hero of Dominaria, has been too strong. You know, all these kinds of things. I think I actually play this Den of the Bugbear since I can't afford to do anything. I wish I'd had that. Dragonfire. Oh, we're fucked. Oh, shit. I am dead. In this game, there have been super strong, overpowered-ish strategies. But they're not super overpowered. They're doing dramatic effects. Like when you would have Light Up the Stage showing up a bunch. I can't remember what the name of the card was. It costs 3, and your opponent either took 4, or you would draw 3 cards. It was great. I think that there's these spiky things that can become these very, like, emotionally cultural righteousness moment. Risk Fasher is the name of it. Like, ooh, this list crushed that mono-red list. Ha! I healed to 50 and you couldn't do anything. You know, like, you feel super powerful. It feels super awesome. Feels so good. And I think that it's important to remember that those big spiky moments of fun and satisfaction are easy to delete in the name of fairness. Like, what my opponent just did was, like, looked bone-crushingly powerful. They had a good draw, I'd thrown away a card. It would be easy for me to be like, I don't know if this card is very fair. I'm going to hang on to this because we're going first. Divine Purge is good on 3. Town-razer Tyrant is good on 4 to further reduce their mana load. And I think that it's, you know... Gosh, the number of card games that have done this is incredible. Magic the Gathering has been around since 93? Is that right? It's almost 30 years now? Been around forever. There's been tons of companies that have come along. It's like, we're going to be the Magic the Gathering killer. We're going to destroy Magic the Gathering because we've done this thing that fixes this big core issue in the game. You're never going to see it in ours. And what happens? Well, they didn't like counters because it felt like counters were not as... didn't feel good to not be able to play cards. Discard, we want to remove that because it didn't feel as good. Everything becomes slight. Everything becomes about these long, sort of grindy calculations. And we forget the basic fun of Andrea Mengucci casting Finale of Devastation at the Mythic Championship and dealing 168 damage to his opponent in 1 turn. Alright, Hall of the Storm Giants is probably what we want to get rid of. So, I'm actually going to play the Moonveil Regent first. That's a little bit unfortunate. I thought that perhaps they could have a Jwari Disruption. So let's hope they play that 4-cost artifact thing. There's this 4-cost artifact that, like, I've seen played. I never remember the name of it because it always seems bad. Teferi, who really likes the sunset.
Want to be a great time mage? Put in the hours.
Do I play the Town-razer Tyrant to pick this one off, or do I play the... You know, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to play the Goldspan Dragon. And the Goldspan Dragon is going to hit the Teferi to generate a treasure. Now, what my opponent could do, conceivably, they could allow the Goldspan Dragon to attack again and let me make another treasure. More likely, though, they will want to delete this sooner rather than later, giving me the opportunity to have my opponent with less mana up, giving me the opportunity to play Town-razer Tyrant. So now I can begin to put pressure on. Yeah, haste is the place. So now my opponent could try to kill the Goldspan Dragon, which I would then, in response, crack the treasure token. You know, actually, we need to do this right now. My opponent is clearly leaving up black to be able to pick off the Goldspan Dragon. So I need to play this now, because if we get to pre-combat... Fantastic news. I'm thrilled that a Vanishing Verse was not used on the Goldspan Dragon. I'm delighted to see it. Sure. Doomscar away, my friend. I can play Orb of Dragonkind as well. Let's go ahead and get the dual land. I'm not really that worried about Hall of the Storm Giants. You know, I'm going to go ahead and use the clue, because if we bink a land, it's all good. Great. Oh, Rockus says, might miss this Sean played Inscription yet. Let me put a note to do that. I might actually play that game next week. Ooh. Ooh. Oh. Hey, if this is flipped, is Edgar Markov's Coffin, does it have the converted mana cost of the front side? Well, shit. I think this is the one to do. And then Orb of Dragonkind and Define a Dragon. Good. Key to the Archive. Yeah, I think Key to the Archive sucks as a card. I think it's overvalued. Maybe I'm wrong, but I don't care. I love just saying things. I love claiming and asserting things. Oh, this bastard, huh? That might actually be all she wrote. Reduce the cost of 2, guys. Which one do I actually want here? This is actually an interesting choice. Town-razer Tyrant is very, very good. It'll just deal damage, but then it'll just be a 4/4. Moonveil Regent can get stacking value over time. I think it actually is Moonveil Regent. I think it is Moonveil Regent. Because I think I need to get quite an oomph of power here. Fearsome Whelp is really helping us have some gigantic, gigantic turn. You see, this draft is the same as Hearthstone's Discover. And it says Approach of the Second Sun because these are the cards that you can get from it. Some good stuff. So... I think this is correct to do this. It's a clue. No, I'm not going to block. We're going to heal with the Adult Gold Dragon. Not happy to see that. Alright, Den of the Bugbear. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, it's time to chump as best as you can, little buddy. Remember that card I said I wasn't worried about? Got us. I think I am now ready and eager to do some... Silver Tier 4. I, have not played Constructed in ladder for, 2 months now. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Let's go ahead and take another peek at the Boros Dragons list. And let's look at what the sideboard plan is for this puppy. Alright, let's... what's the best way to do this? Alright, Paladin Class. This would be good against these sort of control lists. I mean, just very straightforward, make my opponent's spells cost more on their turn. Would, in that case, be pulling out the Dragon's Fire, Valorous Stance, cards like that. Divine Purge, probably. Strict Proctor, whenever permanent entering the a battlefield causes a triggered ability to trigger, counter it. I mean, certainly there's some ETB lists. I don't know the meta quite well enough to know specifically what that is. Valorous Stance, very good against certain Angel lists, obviously against other Dragon lists. Inferno with the Star Mounts, a control reply. Inferno with Star Mounts, control reply. Brittle Blast, Flame Blessed Bolt, more removal spells to deal with these aggro lists. And Angelfire Ignition, I feel like, is a really great symmetry breaking kind of card. If it's like big creatures versus big creatures, where I can get super strong, swing, heal, deal damage, and then go again. Let's go ahead and do this in best of 3. Boros Dragons. I don't think this is good enough. We really want one of our 8 ramp cards into a dragon. I guess it's good enough. We're going first. So, with Divine Purge, I think that's an acceptable enough. Yeah. This is good. Problem says, I'm so happy Dana is back. I'm happy to be back, Velda. Happy to be back. Okay, let's just declare red. So we have white, red, white, red. Kind of hoping I don't have to play the Shatterskull Smashing, but we may. This is looking like the Azorius control list. We have one of those as well. Okay, it's Esper. Okay. Alright. Okay, fine. I'm not thrilled that I'm doing this, but, you know, I'm doing this. Sedgemoor Witch is just so awesome. I'm so glad this card is seeing play. And many ping-pings were had that day. Oh, hello, Sharebear. Let's move my soup. Okay. Now, I think that the correct decision might actually just be to play the Moonveil Regent again. Leer is not going to be that much of an issue for a while. So these kinds of lists basically run Sedgemoor Witches, bunch of cheap spells like this, and then they play Leer later on and try to crap on you. Yeah, I think I'm just going to play the Moonveil Regent like this. We have Divine Purge, which we'll be able to exile this stuff. Sure, it's totally fine. glad that we did that. I think we got the Den of the Bugbear out soon. Oh, shit. Everything's okay, Sheriff. You don't have to use your claws. Ouch. Well. Oh my god, my melatonin's getting launched everywhere. It's a disaster. Alright. The great ping-ponging thus begins. Okay. So... I think I do need to do this Divine Purge right now. These lists tend not to run a ton of counter spells, because it's trying to use these proactive spells like Divide by Zero, Fading Hope. These spells that, like... A card like Fading Hope is generally considered not that great. Yeah, it's a 1-mana bounce, but that's all it is. It's a 1-mana bounce. It's just the delay of game card, you know? And if it's just a delay of game card... you can wind up burning. Ooh, I did not want to see that one. Good. You can end up burning a whole card in your hand. Like, imagine you had, like, a bunch of Fading Hopes in the hand. You sort of, like, bounce, bounce, bounce. Your opponent just, like, replays, replays, replays. This. Red. Red. You end up, like, burning your whole hand, and it doesn't feel very good. When you have something like Leer out, it's really amazing, because suddenly you get these sort of, like, cruddy cards. I'll do this. I think the adult gold dragons are good. Well, I hate to see that. This is the only Valorous Stance that we have. We do have several Dragonfire potions, though. Such a good deck. X number of colors among permanents you control. We'll just shoot this guy because we have a permanent that is red. I'm going to hold this back. If we Orb of Dragonkind and get a Moonveil Regent, we can then play the Fearsome Whelp and draw an additional card. Okay. Replaying this is more or less okay. We're going to take a bunch of damage here. Many pains. Ow, ow, ow. With this Divide by Zero, that's quite bad. We have a lot of dead cards in this situation. Sacrifice the Orb of Dragonkind. I mean, I think that's the game. So I think we can win there. So we're gonna switch. Switch out some cards. And this is Ward pay 3 life. I mean, that's fine. So here's the ones that I don't necessarily think that we want. Divine Purge, I don't think that we want. Valorous Stance, kind of a maybe, right? It's kind of a maybe. Like, Leer is a good card to try to pick off. Might actually just want these Valorous Stances and these Paladin classes. That might actually just be the whole thing. Inferno with Star Mounts, spell can't be countered. I mean, I don't think I want a 6-mana thing that can get bounced with a Fading Hope. Valorous Stance, I don't necessarily know if it is... this might actually be incorrect. The reason... Well, my opponent is likely to have some kill creature spells. I really wish I could see what these frickin' cards were. This is why I'm why I'm interested in Valorous Stances can protect my babies. But it might be a reasonable assertion like, yo, we really need to kill these Sedgemoor Witches, man. Which Flame Blast Bolt would be good for. I'm going to go with this for now. I'm going to keep this. Valorous versus Fateful is always the question I find. I think Valorous Stance is like so good. Okay, we have tools. We have tools, and I'm feeling cool. Tap it up, tap it in. More Dragonfire potions. Perfect. No problem. Not an issue. Having down the Bugbear out feels really good. I don't think I have anything that's double white in the deck anymore, so it's fine to just play out these more safe cards. Consider this. I mean, if we can just start swinging with the Den of the Bugbear later on, that'll be very nice. I think that card is so sweet. What do we do here, huh? So, no considers. Fading Hope is just return a creature. Fading Hope. MTG. What is it allowed to target? Return target creature to its owner's hand. I think this is actually what I want to do. What I'm worried about is a divide by 0 on the Goldspan Dragon, which would actually give them an extra card to do advantageous things with. Okay. There's the removal spells we worried about so much. Canine Cross, Evers 092. Welcome back for 78 and 20 months, respectively. I actually don't think I want to play the Goldspan Dragon here because I have a bunch of reactive cards in the hand. It's fine. My opponent clearly has answers. There's no Sedgemoor Witches coming down. It's not a really big reason to have a Leer pop down. There's the Consider. Okay. So I'm going to Dragon's Fire first. The reason being that it's harder to make the Dragon's Fire deal 4 than it is for Valorous Stance to deal 4. Oh, interesting. So my opponent did not want to save their own Leer, which to me says they have an additional Leer. That's good. May as well keep playing the same card. Hey, we had a good read on Divide by Zero. This is if your opponent has more cards in hand than you draw 2 cards. Oh, what are the foretold cards in here? And I still think this is the right play, because we can Moonveil Regent. And there's typically not sweepers in here, but maybe that's changed. Oh, Disdainful Stroke, one of my favorite cards. Reasonable enough. Oh, nice. Sick. This is like the only dragon in the deck that this actually will kill. Oh, I love swing lands. Love swing lands. I'm going to save the Valorous Stance here. Exiling Commencing. So many Vanishing Verses. Exile is really good in Standard right now. Welcome back, Sedgemoor Witch. Good to see ya. Yeah. Go ahead and do that. Picking this one off is good, because now I have these slaplands that can get in there. Oh, yeah. Mockthal with the 10 gifted subs on this beautiful Tuesday, where we are back to streaming. It's good to be back. Good to be back. I mean, I wish my sleep schedule was a little bit more reset than it actually is. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Dude, there's all 4 Vanishing Verses. Terrific. And we even get the little 1/1 residual goblin. This is great. Boink. Mockthal, thanks for 10 gifted subs on this Beauty Tuesday. Allied Russian. Oh, my God. Our most fateful Russian ally. Hey, what do we think that hidden card is? Oh, this is a good one. Very good one indeed. Bing, bang. %% of Doomscar. Let's get this indestructible. I'm surprised that Doomscar would be running this list. I mean, probably it's a sideboard card. You can mainboard these Vanishing Voices. Alright, my plays are clear. Hit them with my lands and my dragons. Seraphic Soul, good to see you. Jeet Kune Lo. Welcome back, welcome back. We made Aita detonate. All right. like what we got going on. I like what we got going on. Town-razer Tyrant would be a very nice one to get down there. Ukoto says, control this. I know. I am out of control. Filthy Rake says, oh snap, Sean is back. It's true. Here I am, Damon. Here I am. Now, I think that this might be barely acceptable in some circumstances, but there's a lot of low-tier interaction, and I don't like having this many prices in there. Okay, we'll hang on to this one. I think Moonveil Regent is not as value as just Town-razer Tyrants. So let's decline this and name red. And the next one we will name red as well. Damon, it's just such a treat to see you. I heard you got COVID. Are you doing okay, man? I mean, you're typing, which means at the very least your fingers are working good. So I should name this one white. Red, white. Good. Brave Enfeeblement. Ah, I see some of your other uses. Filthy Rick says, yeah, can confirm I have COVID. Can't breathe for crap. Jesus. It's downright terrible. Downright terrible. Blazefire says, just got over COVID myself. Ah, God. Yeah, dude. Everyone I know in the universe either got COVID or was exposed to COVID. I got straight up exposed myself. Yeah, I'm completely fine, but still, it's insane. I think that this is correct to do. This could be a Jawari Disruption. Potato, potato. Getting down a Town-razer Tyrant is excellent here. Ow, ow, ow. Let's go ahead and target the black land. How menacing. Consider this. Oh, I'm gonna have to get so mathematical here. Okay, so I think that I swing with just the Goldspan. So then I can pick off. Choose a dragon you control, target this. Yes. Auto pay. Choose a dragon so we can do a 4. Have to pay 3 life, but I'm gonna step it out now, so there we go. And then I leave this guy to block this. Because if I leave this back, I'll go to 3, which gives me a lot of wiggle room. Oh, this is a close situation. There's a lot of lands in this list. So, I mean... Okay. I mean, I'm probably going to leave back the Town-razer Tyrant, right? Maybe I actually can do this. Let's see what Aita does. Spurtron is so good as the angle of Sean that I know and love. I know. Oh. So if I swing now, my opponent will be at 14. Yeah, I think that's the only option. If my opponent is actually trying to go for Mascot Exhibitions, then we know that my opponent will be tapped out. So this is the optimal way to spend our mana. And once we see what we're gonna, once we see what our opponent has done, oh, fuck, Jawari Disruption. All right, that actually is gonna cause us to lose. Really? All right. Well, that's good. Which one do we want to have up there the least? I'm just going to go with these blue-white lands. Give us a little bit of time. Does give us a little bit of hope. Just a teensy, touchy touch of hope. Just a little bit. And Bronstein gifting 5, Spurtron gifting 10. Oh my lord. Let's shoot it. I wonder if there's a card that lets us win here. I don't think that one does. Ah, it was close. That's alright. That is okay. No, my points. Oh, God. Dude, and Bronstein. Spurgetron. Thank you. And Bronstein says, welcome back, Sean. We miss you. So you playing God of War on Friday? Yes. It's one of my favorite game series of all time. Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. God of War 3 was a really just spectacle-laden game. I mean, God of War 3 was just... feels like one of the greatest examples in the history of gaming of just distilled action. And a distilled gaming experience. And it's funny because I feel like we're going to be playing God of War on Friday, which I actually know surprisingly little about. I've kept myself pretty spoiler-free. I understand it feels a little bit like God of War. I should say, it feels a little bit like God of War 3 is maybe more accurate. It feels a little bit like Dark Souls, feels a little bit Metroidvania. Very polished, sort of refined. Sort of interested to see what this modern gaming experience is like. Then we're also going to be playing what I feel like is a completely different kind of modern game. Tomorrow we're going to be playing Project Zomboid. Oh, yeah. Playing on PC? Yeah. PC version releases on Friday, Casual Zari. Not the new God of War's Friday. The old 2018 God of War's remaster is on Friday. When I say the new God of War, what I mean is that there was a game called God of War that was released on the PlayStation 2. That's the old God of War. Then there's God of War that was released in 2018, and that's the new God of War. It's actually kind of funny how IP ownership and naming conventions are kind of like the way that castles work in Dark Souls. It's just ruins on ruins on ruins on ruins. That's what it is, man. Like, there's God of War, then God of War 2, then God of War 3, then there was like God of War Ascension, and then God of War. It's incredible. I really respect Final Fantasy because they're like, no, we just name it a number. It's Final Fantasy 8. It's Final Fantasy 9. Final Fantasy 10. Final Fantasy 14. I don't do any of this, like, finalist fantasy. None of this garbage. Nah, screw that. This is the kind of hand that we've been looking for our whole life. It's me, Rahilda. First striker. Gets to bink some off the top. We're going to go ahead and reveal Town-razer Tyrant because we're going to play it this turn. We're going to name red. Blow up this one. Fearsome Whelp. Yeah, Final Fantasy 13-2. Yeah, like, fuck yeah. God of War 2018 is... I feel like God of War 2018 is actually God of War 5. Isn't that right? Isn't that accurate? Ooh, keeping this long. Love to see it. Overlar. You know, yeah. I mean, double orb, I think, is probably going to be pretty gassy. Is that true? Am I full of shit? I mean, we're getting close to being able to cast Velomachus Lorehold. Flying Vigilance is, like, quite good. I think we just go to Town in the Skies. I think there is an interesting question here of, do I crack this? I think probably not. It's probably better to just have the mana. And I'm just going to go in. I think that we're in a situation where we can deal potentially so much damage. You see, I don't mind if a game is named in different ways, or if a game... Alright, cool, we win. I don't mind if it's named in different ways. I don't mind if it's like Assassin's Creed Odyssey, Assassin's Creed Black Flag, Assassin's Creed... I don't know, whatever the next one is. Assassin's Creed Cyberpunk 2077. Like, that's fine. It's, like, totally fine. But I just don't get this, like... 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1. I don't... Like, what are we doing? So if I play Velomachus Lorehold... Alright? This is a dead Gruul player, right? I don't mind that. Yeah, Xbox naming is just the best example of, like, what are we doing? It's the best example of it I've ever seen. I mean, it's almost inspiring how ridiculous it is. Xbox. Xbox 360. Xbox One. Xbox One X. Then Xbox Series X and Series S. Like, I don't even know. I mean, it's incredible. The fact that they went Xbox 360, Xbox One. I mean, that's amazing. That's fucking amazing. Okay, so let's look at this. Angelfire Ignitions feel like they should be great. Yeah. I feel like Velomachus Lorehold is a little too expensive. Valorous Stance. Are there enough 4-cost dogs in this? I don't actually know. Brittle Blast is going to be amazing. Weirdly, I kind of feel like I want Velomachus Lorehold, but that's probably incorrect. We just win with these ones. feel like pulling out these. I actually feel like maybe Orb of Dragonkind might actually be the one to pull out. I feel like that's right. I feel like this is right. I mean, yeah, it does ramp. What if we're not ramping? Do we have a ton of spells that we're going to be able to cast now? This is now our sort of pricey stuff up here. Put in one of these because I'm unsure. Nibiokoro says, if you somehow really enjoy God of War, would you play? Would you play it on stream? On more days, or would you play it on your off time? Yeah, I'm actually. We're open to all sorts of things in the year of 2022. We're open to a lot of stuff because here's the thing: Magic the Gathering is in a unusual place compared to where it has traditionally been. If I rewind back to 2018 when Arena first came out, it felt like there was this big celebration and excitement and eagerness all around Magic the Gathering Arena. You had the Mythic Invitational that was being played on Arena. There was a lot of advertising and pushing of people to Arena. A lot of my friends who hadn't played for a long time were starting to play again. Historic was very natural, emergent from the idea of Standard being only on Arena. It was great. And then the MPL, you know, the esports tournament circuit where you had players who were playing in weekly streams on Arena. All the tournaments were Arena. You know, Arena. And then it's like the MPL's dissolved, and is Magic more focused on being paper-driven or digital? And then there's this Alchemy format, and there's just like so much division, it's felt like. So I probably do want this to be white, huh? Actually, I think that this is the right thing to do. I think I pay 3 life on this so I can Flame Blessed Bolt, and then on the next turn this can come in white untapped, and then the next turn this can come in. Wasn't there some other format in the works? Pioneer? Pioneer, I don't actually mind that much. Now, I think I actually Flame Blessed Bolt this because I would rather have my Dragon's Fire up that can deal more damage. I'd also rather have land so I can do literally anything at all. My god, literally anything, please. Shoot her. Kind of need to do this because I might not. I guess that's pretty good. I mean, we have a lot of things in the hand, and Emilio Joe was really low on land. Ah. Angelfire Ignition. All right, well, let's go ahead and just bring the Town-razers in. Raise the town, friends. Can you imagine if we drew a land? That'd be... Grim Weeper says, Sean, has anyone told you you look like the guy in the lie down, try not to cry, cry a lot meme? I think we all do. Doesn't the character in that look kind of like the way that Rin 1010 characters are illustrated? Let's take a peek. Lie down, try not to cry, cry a lot. Let's take a peek. I think that looks like me. It's maybe the most generic face ever. But the guy is built. So yeah, that looks like me. He's ripped, hot, crying. He's not ashamed of his feelings. That's me, Grim Weeper, whose name and initial commentary is only about sobbing. Fire says, I suspect that arena numbers are falling dramatically. So they're doing everything they can to monetize the players they got left. Prediction, we won't see a card ban in Standard ever again, because it allows them to monetize Alchemy more by saying, if you think this card is broken, go play Alchemy, it's nerfed there. The thing is that I think that the bans in Standard will be unaffected by Alchemy, because Standard is... it's a paper format, so they still have to do bans. So I am 99% certain that my opponent has a 4-mana play and just needed to do that. They just had to get that off their chest. Hello, I'm Kalana. Alright. Right, wait. Yeah, I mean, like, if my opponent doesn't draw land, then I'm a pretty damn aggro deck. Oh, does this idiot have Reach? Ah, yes, Reach, the most overlooked keyword in the game. Okay. It's kind of an interesting idea, because, like, I was having a conversation with a friend about this over break that... Nice. I had a conversation with a friend about this over break that, like, if you think about something like Ranger class. Wow. If you think about something like, I mean, Dota is a very simple example. There's like one mode. There's the 5-on-5. That's it. And the different modes and variations on 5-on-5 are often what heroes you have access to. Jesus, this being in silver, look how many pips it gives you in silver. In silver? Oh my god, the amount of pips that I have feels amazing. You'll have things in Dota where it will be like, you get to pick one of these 3 heroes, and that's what you're allowed to play with. You know, or like all pick, or captain's mode. There's different ways of picking heroes. But once you're in the game, it's the game. It's the same game, it's the same format, there you go. So if you're a content creator, like the incredible Purge gamers, Purge makes videos about this one format, right? So there's the content creation side and the gameplay side. The fact that the gameplay really has this one focused mode means that you can focus on it very clearly as a content creator. Or in StarCraft 2, a game I made a great amount of content for, there's 1v1 and 2v2 and 3v3 and 4v4. But really, like 1v1, it's like very clear that you can make content about 1v1, and it's like the competitive mode. And 4v4 is clearly the casual mode. And I think that Magic had that identity for a long time of like something like Commander is a very social, I don't want to say casual because it can be quite hard, but it's a much more, it is a mode that feels very distinct from Standard, which is often used as like this premier format in tournaments. Modern, which is used as premier format in tournaments. It's an okay hand. But with Magic right now, it feels like there's Historic, Standard, Alchemy, Limited, Modern, Pioneer. There's almost these formats that I can imagine from a player perspective, screw the content creator, I can imagine from a player perspective, someone being like, I love Historic Brawl, and it's my favorite format to play. Another person saying, I love Pioneer. It's gas. It's so gassy, this format. It's gas out the ass. I'm really going to want another white. I think I might need to hold on to this, so we will play the DOTPP. And so the interesting question that I was discussing with a friend is, hey, maybe there are formats that are creating an even better experience for a smaller number of players. And yet other formats... My opponent's going to play one of these, for sure, 100%. It's not no doubt in my mind. Sacrifice it, decline, I'll take that pain. My opponent has a lot of Town-razer Tyrants, I'll tell you. So it could be the case that from the player perspective, maybe it's a better experience for players overall to have all these different formats where they can pick and choose and focus on. From a content creator's perspective, it could be quite a pickle. That's the interesting discussion point. That's what I'm trying to communicate to you. I will decline. Ow. Go ahead and swingo dingo right into that Moonveil Regent, pal. Bang. Oh, yeah. Dude, Town-razer Tyrant is ridiculous. I think it could maybe be nerfed to like 1 damage and it would be fine. And that feels good to be able to use the word nerf. That feels good. I really hope this whole alchemy thing pans out. Okay, S's, but from a player perspective, with so many formats, maybe hard to find other people that also like the format enough to keep it fresh, especially playing in person. I think another good point. Another good point. And another big stretchy. Oh, what a good baby. Hello, darling. Hello. Let me grab you by the tummy. Meow, father, meow. Dragon's fire. Ah. Oh, this game's about to get real dumb. Are we taking 6 damage a turn? They're taking 6 damage a turn. Decline. Mamma mia. Dude, I like living life on the edge. You know what I mean? I like living life on the edge. Bam! Meow! My opponent has a Goldspan Dragon. Trouble. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, we got Despy the cat. Chandra dressed to kill. What does she do? Next to the top. It's red. You can cast it. Okay.
This little candle's gonna set your world on fire.
Okay, and then I go to 6.
Let's bring things up to a simmer.
Okay. Bang. Ow. Sure. So this is going to hit me, so I'm going to need to sacrifice this. Does that suck? It does. It's quite challenging. You know, an adult gold dragon would just be the absolute nuts. It would be the nuts. Ow. Sacrifice it. You know, I think I would rather lose the land than lose the game. Orb of Dragonkind. Okay. Two can play at that Moonveil Regent game. Oh. Oh, yeah. What is the top card? Snow-covered mountain. Nice. If it's red, you may cast it this turn. Note that lands are colorless. My god, they've got me. My opponent's playing mono red dragons. So, I think that Strict Proctor, Valorous Stance, these things are going to be good. I think we need to deal with a more aggressive bend. So we take out some of our longer term cards. Brittle Blast is going to be nice. Valorous Stance is going to be pretty nice. I also quite like the Strict Proctor. I also quite like Angelfire Ignition. I quite like these cards. Yeah. Divine Purge, I think, is the one that just needs to get on out of there. I might include one more Velomachus. You know, I like creatures. This is my darling baby cat. Maybe we do want a Flame Blessed Bolt. What does Chandra start out? She starts out as a 3. Probably not. Yeah, probably not as good as just another ramper. Got my little baby cat. Let me tell you, this cat is so happy I'm working again. Yeah, Paul Coates says, I struggle to really watch MTG streams because I don't know the game outside of the basics. I can watch Hearthstone game after months of learning the cards, and I'm not sure I have it in me for MTG. Let alone multiple formats like it. Yes, this is the content creator's pickle. The pickle of creation. I go first. This is almost a nut hand. I think I do gotta ship it back. Yeah, this looks a lot better. I'll go ahead and send this one back. Name Red. Oh, that's my little baby. Decline, Red. Oh my god, this cat. I fucking love this cat, man. I still love this cat for any of you who were away while I was on my break. I love this cat. Look at her. Look how perfect she is. Look at her little tiny head. Look at her little chin. Look at the little white spot on the chin. It's incredible. Decline. Shoot it. Go. Oh my god. Whelp versus Whelp. Whelp wins. Red, red. So we're gonna be white, white probably next. This is my cat. Hold on, let's get the tummy rubbed. There we go. Chaucer says, oh god, Sean is gonna play Project Zomboid tomorrow. I hope he knows what he's getting into. Dude, I don't have a clue. I played the tutorial, I'm watching some tips videos, but the thing is, there's this like absent I'm not gonna play this. My opponent's already kind of screwed. I don't want to play this because if my opponent has Dragonfire, they can just cast Dragonfire. That's okay. I don't need this to live anymore because this is going to get reduced to 3. And the next turn, when I play this as white, I can go Adult Gold Dragon and Valorous Stance in defense. It'll be good. Alchemy. Ooh, that's actually very good. Yeah, Project Zomboid, I'm real interested in. Okay, so there's this thing that happens in any game in which there's like construction, survival, building, build up, things like this. Let's take Civilization as a good example of this. In Civilization, when you sit down to play, each turn is pretty fun. You're growing, you're building stuff up, and once you've been playing for 2 hours, you realize that every single thing I did was wrong. And now that I know that every single thing is wrong, I want to restart and I want to play through it again. When I play through it again, then I get 6 hours in, and then I realize that every single thing that I did for those 6 hours was wrong, and I gotta try again, you know? And I'm using the term wrong because, I mean, if you played Civilization, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But the important nougat that I'm trying to point to is the idea of you start to understand what you should do in those first 2 hours, because you'll have a goal at the 10-hour mark you're trying to optimize against. Project Zomboid is a survival game that's trying to very realistically showcase what it might be like in a zombie apocalypse. Gotcha. It's really cool. Bludgeon's good. Oh shit, it was only going to deal 2 damage. Oh, I always mess that up. Can't believe I've done this. Project Zomboid is a game that's trying to make it a really realistic, try to survive the zombie apocalypse kind of thing. And so the idea is that you can start scavenging, build up a base, do stuff like this. But my assumption is that I'm not going to get to the point where I'm building up a base in a safe house or something like that for maybe 5 hours of gameplay or something like this. And so if the base building's deep enough, it's probably going to be entertaining for 30 or 40 or 50 hours, at which point I'll learn more about what I want to do at the very start. But, like, I've looked at some of the controls, I've looked at some of the setups, I've watched some tips videos. Then I watched someone play, and he was like, alright, cool, let's play the game. Alright, I'm feeling good, I'm feeling ready, let's play. Okay, so let me start poking around here, let me take a look. Ooh, gosh, yeah, we're going to make sure that this radio is actually attached to our left belt. Let's actually see if we're getting any information on the radio. Okay, we're not. Alright, I'm just going to take the batteries out of this. And I'm like, there's radios? There's a whole radio interface? Are batteries good? I don't know. Like I remember when I played Stardew Valley, there's this point where you're like 20 hours in, not 20 hours in, like 2 seasons in, and you go, oh my god, you can like get a barn and like a chicken coop? I gotta rearrange my farm. And the next time you play, you're like, alright, I'm good. I get what's going on. Oh, disc blast here? It's a widow bueno. But I'm excited because Project Zomboid appears to have just absolutely blown up. I mean, the number of people playing Project Zomboid right now is fucking ridiculous. And I'm hoping it'll be fun. Definitely matches what our... Even if you just like go on our Discord and you look at like, you know, people who are online, what they're playing, there's a lot of people playing Project Zomboid lately. This is actually an incredibly positive outcome for us. Because what's more than likely to happen is Cyber Devon is going to be able to play something on turn 5. Or not. Or not.
You know what's great at dispelling darkness? A blazing inferno.
I'm going to go 1 for 1. Kill Chandra. Hi, Chandra.
Wow. Not even a gift bag. Aw, you're looking a little singed.
I'm going to go with white just to have a nice little distribution. Let's just start ping-ponging the damage over here. I absolutely anticipate that our opponent will have a A-Goldspan Dragon. Patrick Mendez, by the way, anyone in chat know where Valheim is these days? Patrick Mendez, it's just doing very, very successfully. Like, there is a difference between, oh my god, we have some huge number of people, like 100,000 people playing more every day. Like, what did it peak? It peaked at something insane, like, actually, let's just look it up. Steamcharts.com, go to more, click on Valheim. Its all-time peak was 500,000 concurrent players. I mean, like, it was fucking out of control how many people were playing that game. It was ridiculous. It's me, A-Goldspan. Well, I mean, the play is clear. I do this, kill this, say yes, red, play this, out, go, attack. Destroy target creature. Auto-pay. Move on with my life. Valheim had like 500,000 concurrents. The universe was playing it. And right now, Valheim is just a hugely popular game on Steam. Not so astoundingly popular that, you know, there's blood coming out of my eyes every time I think about how many people must be shooting deer right now. Very dramatic description. But yeah, it's just doing great. And I have friends that still play it. They find it very, very chill. Real Gamer Thade says, I fucking love Valheim's aesthetic so much. Yeah, it's a really good aesthetic. Inferno of the Star Mounts. It's kind of an interesting choice to put in here. Now that I think of it, probably should have put on the snow-covered mountains, because there's snow-covered synergies in what Cyberdevon is doing. Angelfire Ignition is probably the big card that we're hunting for. Is this a legendary thing? I don't think it is. Oh, it is. Nice. But, you know, I am hungry for another game to, like, get into. I'm hungry for a game to get into. I really enjoyed getting really into. Double Town-razer Tyrant's pretty bad for us. Nah, it's fucking fine. Bang. Patrick Manises would be awesome to see you find another Factorio. Those streams were so much fun. That's exactly what I'm looking for. I'm kind of always looking for that, but that's exactly what I'm looking for. Alright, nice. So I think we did it. Town-razer Tyrant. I will decline to sacrifice it. And I will just go out swinging for the fences. What? Oh, it's right. It's lost all its abilities, of course. Let's just get another hasted dragon. Great. This should be sufficient. We played Satisfactory. I mean, yeah, there's actually a lot of Factorio-type clones. And, you know, maybe I should just dip into Satisfactory. That's an interesting idea. That's actually an interesting idea. Let me go to my show sheet. Show sheet. We're gonna do one more dragon game, then we're gonna switch. All right, going right on back. Ooh, Gearhead says, we looked at Icarus as a new game. I actually was surprised that Icarus did not stick as hard as I thought it would. But I've been really interested in that game. Gosh, it actually has a pretty good amount of players. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should just pick up some Icarus, man. Let me just add that one. Josh says, I put about 250 hours into Icarus. I'd recommend waiting for a couple months for bug releases and content. That's kind of my intuition. Because I think that, like, if we use Project Zomboid as an example, Project Zomboid just has a lot of... The Project Zomboid pattern seems to be the pattern for a lot of games that have some fun core with building and growth and things like that. Factorio kind of had like a little player base. It was plugging along that started growing. And then when I like sat down to play it, I was just like, there's so much here and it's beautiful. And you know, Factorio just kind of grew from there. Project Zomboid. Just chilling and chilling and chilling and chilling, and all of a sudden got really big. Again, too expensive when we have none of our ramp cards. We're going to go ahead and send this puppy back. I fucking hate it, but we'll hang on to it. I think the Meowton's going to need to go. So we see that we're up against something like Mono White. Snow-covered plain. Snow-covered typically indicates that you're a 2 or 1 color deck. So we're going to be pretty chill. Pretty chill. Yeah, so maybe Icarus will be kind of like Factorio, Satisfactory, one of these other ones. Oh my god, that's great news. Oh my god, I'm so happy to see that shit. Play a little close to the chest. Love it. Love it! We always take these wins. Whenever it enters battlefield, you cast a party spell. Choose party creature in your hand. It perpetually gains +1/+1. I think I say no to this. I'm going to decline to just I'm just going to deal 3 damage, and that'll be fine. Moonveil Regent is actually pretty good here. Not because it really is going to do very much, but it's just like a turn 4 play. Traveling Minister. Needleverge Pathway is a very good one to see. So, I mean, this deck archetype is like a tale as old as time. You just have some defensive spells, and then you try to win in the air, and that's it. Elite Spoonbanger. Peace out. So, we want to do x equals 3. Like this. And then when it says, do you want to exile? We say, take that action. Perfect. Leave a whelp, gain a whelp. And then I do pass here because right now we have 5 and 9 mana for the Velomachus. Seems good. A leg Ion Angel will not be enough because of how we set ourselves up. I love winning these games when our opponent gets mana screwed. It just feels right. It feels good and just. Discard everything. Why not? So we're up against an aggro list. Probably don't even want Velomachus. Probably don't want the Orb of Dragonkind, because these are a little bit slow. I don't even think that we necessarily want Valorous Stance, but I'll come back to that one. Do we want damage? Yeah. Damage? Yeah. Some healies? Yeah. And I think that's it. I think this is just the mulligan. Not the mulligan, excuse me, the sideboard. This is the sideboard. Satisfactory is one that I think maybe I should just check out. I mean, they've added a lot to Satisfactory, and it was already pretty good when it came out. All right, quickly, Day9. Go to Steam charts. Yeah, I mean... Oh, is it actually still in early access? You kidding me? Keep so. Alright. Bugbear time. Actually, I'll do the Sundown Pass first, and then the Bugbear. Whittle Blast. Okay. Bono Manello needs to play more stuff. This Divine Purge is, like, so sick. Righteous Valkyrie! I'm gonna Brittle Blast the Righteous Valkyrie instead. I think it's a stronger alternative. Sure, certainly. Now, my opponent might actually just get rid of the Divine Purge here, but I think that the Shatterskull Smashing is the better play for the next turn. Which this is actually quite nice. Okay, that actually panned out brilliantly for us. So we do this, we go X equals 2, da-da. 1 and 1, and the Lunarch Veteran goes into exile thanks to Brittle Blast. Yeah, that's good stuff. Okay. Well, that'll be it for our Dragon list. We have many more decks to play. So let's go ahead and do the next one.